Okay, so this is the rack on the back of my bigger e-bike, and I've ordered a flask carrier. I want to hold a flask lengthways on the rack here, because I don't use it for anything. It's got a spring on it, as most racks do, but I just don't use it. And while I do put a flask in the sometimes in these saddlebags here, I think it'd be nice to have a more permanent thing. So I'm gonna fabricate a piece of metal that goes across that the actual bottle itself is gonna screw to. So I'm going to use these, what are called P-clips. I've used them all over the bike for different things. So I'll have one here, one here, here and here, and I'll fabricate something that spans that and will allow me to screw the cage to it. So looking forward to that. Right, so I made this this bracket from some flat bar, and I've welded it and drilled and tapped it, and I've attached these P-clips, and you'll see in a minute that this is going to sit on the rack of the bike, and the top rail here will take the bottle holder. So the aim is to have a flask sitting on top of my rear rack, which I never use for anything anyway, so we'll see how it turns out. So I've got to paint this, I've got some matte black that I'll paint this with so it fits in with the bike, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I've painted the bracket matte black. I've just brushed it on, but it'll be okay. So the idea is, with the help of the P-clips, this will sit here, and the bottle cage will mount on top of this rail here. So I'll attach this first, and then I will we'll see how it looks. Okay, I'm very pleased with that. That's gone on nicely. You can see the P-clips. It's all central. The matte black actually fits in very well with the rack. On to stage 2 now, fitting the BikeBuddy. Right, this is what you get with a BikeBuddy bottle holder or flask holder. You get the adjustable rail, so you can mount this in whatever position you want on the two threaded holes on your bike frame. You get these 2 cradles here, which sit in here, and you get these 4 clips here that screw into these 2 springs, which allows you to adjust for a different diameter bottle or flask. You get this end stop, slides in here so that you it supports the bottom of the flask, and then you get various screws and some nuts and washers. So you get the whole lot, and you get fitting instructions. It's all stainless steel, so it's very good. What I'm also going to do to stop these springs from scratching the flask, I've got this this heat shrink, so I'm going to cut a section of that on here so that this will protect the flask itself. So it's all good stuff. I do like the kit. I've got one on my other bike, so yeah, hopefully it should work out. Okay, I'm very pleased with the way that's gone on. So obviously you need to space out these two cradles too, so that they're quite even when they support the flask. And obviously you can see they're quite wide, so all you do is, these are spring loaded, well, not spring loaded really, you pinch these in to suit the diameter of the bottle or flask. So I'll do that now. Okay, they're pinched in quite a bit more so that they fit the flask better. You can see at the end here there's two very small lugs on the end of this, and that locates inside the spring, and it gives and allows you to screw this into the spring to give you your dimension for the diameter that you want. Okay, so these are actual these are the tabs attached to the spring that will actually clip onto the lug on the side here and then stretch over. So the idea is that you screw this tab into the spring, and that gives you your adjustment for the diameter. This is the piece of electrical heat shrink tubing that I've put on the spring to stop it. Even though the spring is smooth, there's a risk that it might scratch the flask, so I've just put this heat shrink on there to prevent that. So I'll screw these both in. There's one either end of the spring, and then adjust it to suit the flask. Okay, as you can see, I've screwed them in quite a way into the spring. In fact, as far as I'll go really. So it looks like the diameter of flask that I've got is basically almost the smallest you could go with this kit, which is fine, you know. So let's clip it on. Okay, so there's a lug on the side here, so you clip that onto there. Oops, quite hard doing this with one hand. And then you clip this side onto the next lug. And that's secured that now. You see what I mean by the bit of rubber? This is rubber coated anyway actually, but if I was using a different flask, there is a chance that this would actually chafe against the side of the flask and scratch it. So this bit of rubber is to stop that happening. So that's the first bit. I'll do the second bit, and we should be good to go then. Right, there we have it. I'm pleased with that. It's actually it's worked out very well. Fits in with the bike. Like I said, I never used this top rack for anything anyway, so it was quite redundant really. The dimensions of the bracket underneath there that I made are such that I could take the BikeBuddy holder off and I could still use the this spring-loaded lever if I wanted to. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's worked out good. So as I said, in order to get this bottle off, you've got to pull this tab down and unhook it from this lug here. So I'm going to attach a piece of leather so that I can grip it and pull it down, and that'll make the whole thing much easier. Right, that should be enough to go through there, and what I'll do is now I've got a hole punch. I shall punch a hole through both and then put one of those eyelets in, and that should secure it, and that'll be that'll be it. Okay, that's the tab added, and as you can see, it hangs down there and give you something to pull down on to release it from this catch here. So I'll put it on. One-handed again. So I've secured it on that side. Because there is some tension on the spring. And there we are.